I feel like a boring person, lazy, someone who never works for the things he wants to do, someone with a lot of I would like to, but very little of actual accomplishments behind life. So I saw this and I sort of talk a bit more about this as well, but it makes a lot of sense to me because I've felt this way before, where you have this feeling of all the things you could possibly be doing and all the things you would like to do, but for some odd reason, there just seems to be this resistance and this inability to actually execute on those things. He continues on saying that I have a lot of hobby that I would like to do, engage in things like craft, music making, photography, movies, video making, a lot of interest like sociology, politics, not fiction books, etc. But I just default to watching pointless videos and playing video games. I feel so insecure about how little effort I put into things, how hard it is for me to engage in things I know I'm interested in. I lack a lot of general knowledge and adult stuff skills. I feel like a kid. I'm 24 years old and live with my parents. So, effectively, from what I can see here, is that there is lots of things that he would like to do, but there is just this wall of inability to actually execute. Now, what I will say is obviously when he's saying that he sort of defaults watching pointless video and playing games, I'm assuming this is video games and stuff. I think a lot of that does just originally come from dopamine, right? It comes from, effectively what the brain will see as what's going to give the most reward with the least amount of pain. And I found that when I get into pretty bad ruts, where I spend way too much time on overstimulating things over too long of a period, anything work related, anything that is building something meaningful to me, which has an element of pain, or which originally gave me that fulfillment, all of a sudden that is seen as the enemy. That is seen as the uncomfortable thing that I just wouldn't want to do, even if I had been enjoying it previously. And a lot of people, and at myself at the time, saw this as, well, there must be something wrong with me, right? I enjoyed it before, perhaps I just lost interest. And what it really was, for me at least, was more so the case that my brain was always comparing. It was always comparing and saying, well, would I rather play these video games where I know I get a good reward and there's less pain, or would I rather work on this thing, whether this project or whatever it is, where I could get a good sort of amount of positive coming from it, but there is a pain that I know is there, right? And that difficulty could range, but I don't know. Right, and so like the brain's going to be logical and it's going to be like, okay, well, I'll want to get that from the video games or from watching pointless videos, whatever it might be. And that's what I found, right? And so I think if you're someone which is in that state of wanting to build on things meaningful to you, but you just can't seem to get out of it, quite frankly, I believe one, you're consuming too much. Two, I believe that your dopamine needs to be a lot better, right? And by that, what I mean is, look, are you scrolling in the morning? Are you opening your phone first thing? Are you spending loads of time on things that you shouldn't do? And actually have things in place to do that. First of all, figure out what you actually want to do. For me, that was looking at that I was making an ikigai. It's a Japanese concept, I believe, but it really helped me figure out exactly, or at least give me some level of direction as to things I could be interested in doing. Then from there, once I'd actually made an ikigai, or at least had some level of direction, it was a matter of going, okay, well, how do I then turn this, or at least start directing my energy towards things that are actually meaningful? And one of the traps I fell into was trying to think of, okay, what things should I do? Right? What things should I do? And the issue is look, if you try and put energy into stuff people tell you that you should do that you don't really want to do, it's not going to work out, right? I mean, there was a massive sort of wave of people telling you that you should read all the time. That's not one of the best habits in the world, or something of that notion. And it's like, look, reading's cool, right? But if you don't want to do it, then you're not going to really stick to it, and you're just going to beat yourself up about not doing it, right? And so, I guess really the most important thing that I'm trying to get out of this video is that you need to find some level of direction to put your energy, because what I found is that when I didn't have a level of direction, I didn't really have something solid that I was working on, that energy had to go somewhere. And if the energy was deciding to go nowhere, then my brain would figure out where it wanted it to go, which usually was going to be on, for me, pointless videos and video games, which is effectively pretty much what I would do. So have some level of direction, because once you know a general idea of the sort of thing you'd like to work on, start turning up to that on a more consistent basis. Especially for someone like this, I think trying to set the bar really, really low, right? Even if it is 10, 15 minutes of just putting energy towards whatever it might be, and then build up on that. Because once you start working on things that are actually meaningful to you, that makes a huge shift. And most importantly as well, is also aim to start being able to actually restrict and take time back from the time you're spending on things like video games or things like, for example, pointless videos. Because then that's when you can actually train your mind a bit better, or train it to more seek out the meaningful work as opposed to the pointless videos and the video games. So let me know your thoughts on this. If you've sort of experienced this sort of feeling of, not really feeling like you've got the energy or effort to put into things meaningful. And yeah, with that said, I'll chat soon.